Well guys, we stand on the precipice of another Nintendo investors meeting actually happening tomorrow. Now, I'm not 100% sure if the information comes out tonight or is it tomorrow night. It's weird because this is all Japan time, and I know a lot of the time information comes out about these investor meetings like at 1 or 2 in the morning here in America, at least EST. So yeah, it's very strange and it's very hard for me to cover it until the next day. So either way, it'll be the morning of the following day where this information comes out. But why are we talking about this? Well, these investors meetings are very important, and they tell us a lot of what to expect and kind of where Nintendo's at right now, both financially, what's coming in the future, and just things that they are actually, having to tell their investors. And of course, as we've been waiting for information on this Switch 2, there's one big thing that is without a doubt going to come up in this investors meeting, and that is Nintendo's next console. Someone's going to ask the question, and Nintendo's going to be obliged to say something about it. Now, there's a very good chance they could say nothing, but it probably wouldn't look too well to investors. So there's a good chance that they are going to say something. Real quick, before we dive into all of this talk, please make sure you leave a like and subscribe. We got over 144 brand new subscribers yesterday, and I didn't even post. So thank you guys so much. Let's see how many we can get in today's video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and let's dive into the video. Of course, it's time for yet again another investors meeting, and Nintendo actually just had one back in May, and this is exactly when we actually learned that the Switch 2 was a thing, that Nintendo indeed had a Nintendo Switch successor on the way. But the thing is, they only told us that it would be revealed within the fiscal year, which was between May all the way up until March of 2025. And of course, here we are on November 4th, and not a word, not a peep, not anything about this successor to Nintendo Switch. And people are a little annoyed. Yes, it's kind of annoying that we had to wait this long, but Nintendo did give us a time frame, and they just still are in that time frame. And I think a lot of people expected right before, the holidays got started this year, Nintendo would announce the thing. But clearly they wanted to announce everything else. But yes, I want to talk about how I think that there could be some type of chance Nintendo brings this console up in some way or another. Now, yes, I think pretty much 100% sure this will be brought up in some way. Like, there is going to be an investor asking about this Switch 2, and it's going to be even worse if Nintendo's sales are down. Because remember, back in May, their sales were plummeting. They were actually losing 70% in revenue. They only sold just over 2 million brand new units, and they didn't have any exciting games on the horizon, and their games that just recently dropped, like Princess Peach Showtime, wasn't doing enough to draw people in. It was still the games before that was drawing in the most money, like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe continuously selling so well, and obviously Tears of the Kingdom and Mario Wonder were big hits for them, but nothing in the year that they were in so far. So obviously, it felt like Nintendo's backs were against the wall, and they had to announce something for the future, and that's where they actually announced Switch 2's existence and also a Nintendo Direct in the same tweet, which was pretty weird. Now also remember, they did this because we never did get a Nintendo Direct at the beginning of the year. I think it was just a mini partner showcase. So yeah, they needed to announce something to hype fans up and to get investors excited for the future. So this was like a dire last second thing that they had to announce. Could they do the same thing here? Well, when you look at what's come out since then, there hasn't been much. Yes, your big games are around this time, Echoes of Wisdom, obviously Mario Party Jamboree, and then Mario & Luigi Brothership coming out this week. But man, if those games didn't sell well, Nintendo's sitting in a very bad spot right now. Now, from the sound of it, it looks like Echoes of Wisdom and Mario Party Jamboree both had excellent first week sales, at least in Japan. So we'll get the actual numbers tomorrow and exactly how well they've done so far. But yeah, I guess this is a sign that Nintendo is fine where they're at, technically. And of course, they still have games on the horizon. Mario & Luigi Brothership is this week, and then next year, starting the year, you have Donkey Kong Country Returns HD and Xenoblade Chronicles X, which none of them are really super enormous games. In fact, all the games next year outside of Metroid is pretty much a remaster or a remake, which also might be another reason why investors would push Nintendo on this. They might say, hey, you haven't had a really banger of a game in a long time, like one of those huge console sellers like Tears of the Kingdom or even Mario Odyssey, Breath of the Wild, something along those lines, and Nintendo is definitely due. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is probably still selling strong, but it's about time we see what's next on the horizon. And the fact that Nintendo doesn't have a single huge AAA title coming up soon is a little jarring. If Nintendo is in fact not announcing Switch 2 this year, there's a really good chance that we're not seeing the console until summer or even holiday season of next year, the earliest, which is not gonna look good, because going another year of just smaller titles like remakes and remasters of older games is not gonna cut it with investors. Now, Nintendo did throw out some other announcements, like their alarm clock being Alarmo. I don't think investors are gonna care too much about this one, and especially considering the fact that you could only buy an Alarmo if you had a Nintendo Switch Online account, which is already very strange, and it's not gonna be the sales that I think Nintendo is looking for. But still, yeah, that is a thing that I'm sure Nintendo's gonna bring up, and I'm sure investors aren't really going to care about. And the same thing with Nintendo Music, which is a free downloadable app, once again, if you have Switch Online. So it's a very specific sort of thing where I don't think any of these are going to do anything huge during that investors meeting. Also, remember that Nintendo has not had a direct since June, so they are definitely due for something soon or something around the corner. And I think this could be something else that, you know, makes Nintendo want to speak up about something. But if they're asked about Switch 2, what exactly do they say? I mean, at the end of the day, they did already announce last time that they will announce a thing within the fiscal year, and that still holds because we are still within the fiscal year by a large margin, all the way until March of next year. So Nintendo can keep going on and on and on until the very end of March if they wanted to go with their word. So there's a good chance that if asked about it, Nintendo's just going to reiterate on it and say, yep, it's still going to be revealed sometime this fiscal year. We have nothing else to say about it, which is probably the most likely of the situations, which is disappointing because it still doesn't give us anything to expect. So I guess I really hope that maybe Nintendo comes out and gives us a time frame that's a lot cleaner and cut, instead of just saying the fiscal year. Maybe they'll say next year, or maybe they'll say the beginning of next year, or maybe they'll say January of next year. Maybe they'll get even more specific and give us a week, or maybe even a day, which would also be really cool. But I know there's some people out there that still think there's a chance that they could come out and just say, hey, you know, it's coming very soon, you know what I mean? Like, or hey, it's coming next week, you know? I don't think that's gonna happen, but the best that could happen is, like I said, more of a unique time frame to expect a thing. Giving us a solid month or a date or some type of, you know, time frame in the future could just ease people's minds. You know, it'd be like, okay, we don't have to guess when this thing's gonna be revealed or anything. We know when the date is, we know when to expect this, but we're just gonna have to wait and see what Nintendo decides to do, or that they just decide to, once again, stay completely quiet. But let me know in the comments down below what you think about all of this. Do you think Nintendo is going to reveal anything within this investors meeting tomorrow, or do you think they're gonna stay completely quiet on everything and make us wonder once again? But Mario and Luigi Brothers Ships reviews are out, so I'm already getting ready for a video on that, and they seem to be, unfortunately, kind of mixed, so definitely stay tuned for that. But leave a like and subscribe if you want to stay up to date on all things Nintendo, and like always, I'll see you all on the next one. See ya, guys.